Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day. This is our Thursday stream, guys. Thursday movie news stream where we're going to be talking about an Aquaman 2 update. It's not sounding good. It's not. But, you know, what would that be any different from the DCU, the current state of the DCU, if it's not good? Yeah, but you know, I had high hopes for it. We'll talk about the Meg 2. We'll get a strike update, what's going on with all of that stuff. Nolan weighs in about Tarantino and his retirement plans. Barbenheimer opens up this week. Barbenheimer, yep, that's what people are calling it. So we'll take a look at the tomato meters, because people are just like, well, which one ranks better? Is it certified fresh? But we start off today's show by talking about that new Gran Turismo trailer that dropped this morning. And guys, this is one that I'm actually, well, when I was looking at the August slate, not a lot of movies come out in August. I was like, whoa. Well, Gran Turismo is definitely going to be one of those movies that I'm looking forward to in August. Because the trailer that dropped this morning, it looked good. Oops. So, yeah, it's a bit of a bigger glimpse, a little bit more into the story again. Yeah, it's a kid that plays Gran Turismo at home, and then he gets recruited to play to be a real life driver. So it has David Harbour in it, Jaimin Hansu. I like what I'm seeing from this movie, man. And it comes from director Neil Blomkamp. So you're going to get a lot of, he's known for like visual effects. He's done things like District 9. So you can see that he's got his hands on this. It's infused with that magic that he's got, right? So, you know, as having a visual effects background, this is going to be good, man. I think this is going to be good. And I want to see it on the big screen because when you see the cars going like this, that's sound quality. That's what I want to hear. I want to be like in the middle of the theater, rather reasonably close to the screen. So when the cars are going, it's just going to be a boom, 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 boom like that. That's what I want to hear, right? And I think that the story of like a kid that plays video games wants to become a real life driver. I think that's something that people will gravitate to. And like as I said, like this stuff, this is like computer game-ish. This is Neil Blomkamp written all over it kind of stuff, right? Like a shot like this. And I think I hope it is a good return to form for him, because I know a lot of people were kind of like, well, Chappie wasn't all that good. Elysium was sort of okay, but then, Demonic or whatever that came out was not all that great. But August 11th, guys, Gran Turismo. Did you watch the trailer this morning? Let's see what some of the people are saying here, because it's fresh. There seems to be an interesting story with action packed. Yes, gives the Wizard vibe. Hope they unlock a new game mode in the last act. This looks cool. I'm definitely going to see it this next month. It's like watching Pixar's Cars with real racing. I hope this film will have cars in it. Of course, it's going to have cars in it. Yeah. So let's just see somebody's trite response here. This has to be the stupidest plot ever. I'm going to hit a thumbs down on that button. Yeah, no, thumbs down. What? It's based on real life. That's just a troll. Haters be hating. Yeah, so I don't understand that. But the cast looks like it's going to be okay. So, yeah, David Harbour from Stranger Things is going to be in this. Orlando Bloom, Darren Barnett, Jaimin Hansu, Archie Madekwe is our main character there, who gets recruited. Then you got some real life drivers, or like the supposed real life drivers, like Josh Stradowski, and Jerry Horner is going to be playing the mother. Is that it? Yeah, she plays the mother. One of the Spice Girls. We didn't see her in this trailer. We saw her in the first trailer, right? Did I miss that? Anyway, I'm looking forward to it, guys. The Gran Turismo trailer. Did you guys see it? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. I thought it was 3 thumbs up. Talking about trailers, yesterday, a Haunting in Venice trailer dropped. The second trailer, A Haunting in Venice. And that's that Kenneth Branagh Poirot series that he's been finally putting out. I actually really like Death on the Nile, man. There's something about these movies where he just draws you in. I know some people don't like his adaptations of it, but I like them. And I'm looking forward to this next installment where it's going to be a little bit more on the horrific side. And look at the shape that they're all in. It's very pentagram-ish, right? You connect all of the dots there. Tina Fey is my draw in this. Tina Fey, I know that she can do serious stuff too. Cool to see her in this subject matter, and that's what I like about Branagh, because he's directing this as well, right? So it's kind of like he's tapping into all of these actors that he knows can deliver good performances, right? He's an actor's he's a director's actor's director, because he studied acting, right? So Shakespeare background. Kelly Riley from Yellowstone is in this, right? Michelle Yeoh, can't get bigger than Michelle Yeoh right now. Jamie Dornan, Kyle Allen. Oh, you know what? We just did a story yesterday about Kyle Allen. He was going to be our He-Man, but at least he's still got other projects coming out. Sorry, it's not going to be He-Man for you, man, but he's going to be in this. Fascinating indeed. I like this trailer. Whoops, let's just pull up that trailer. It really gives the sense of what this story is about. What this Michelle Yeoh's character is like a soothsayer or like a medium, I think they call it, right? Can commune with the dead. And it's going to be one of those kind of like, really? Can you really do that? Because he's like an investigator, detective, right? So it's kind of like you would think that it's just going to be like a schemer kind of thing, right? But Michelle Yeoh's performance here, where she's like trying to commune, maybe it's just the cinematography in it. Like, I like the color palette. The color palette of this is rich, right? Despite it being like darkly lit and stuff, they're using a lot of colors in here that just give it a richness to it. And again, that's a credit to Branagh's style, and it looks great. I'm looking forward to this. September 15th is when this comes out. I always get her confused with the girl that was in Malignant, but she's the one from Yellowstone, and I hope, like as I said, I really had fun with Death on the Nile, and it came and went. Not a lot of people saw it. But he's quietly putting out this series, and I think it's it looks like it's going to be a fun time there, man. Now, is it going to be like as horrific as some horrors like The Conjuring or anything like that? No, it's more of like, I would expect more of a detective story, but it's going to have like creepy vibes to it, and a lot of that has to do with that lighting style, that color palette that we're seeing here in the trailers. And eventually somebody's going to end up dead, and it's going to be a whodunit kind of thing, or ghost real or something like that. And each time that he's put out one of these movies, we learn a little bit more about Poirot's background, like why he has the mustache and stuff like that. And I just thought this trailer looked good yesterday. I thought it looked good. So let's see what some of the people are saying in the comments. It probably won't be a full-on horror, but the mere presence of those semi-horror elements makes this one of the most unusual but also interesting ideas I've seen this year. I'm curious how well it will do after the release. So yeah, it's got people's curiosities up, right? I feel like going to the Sherlock Holmes route with R.J. Jr. Nah, I don't. This looks good. Excellent cast. Beautiful cinematography. Yeah, agree with that. Love the direction of Branagh's taking this one. I'm so excited for this mystery, crime, horror. Yeah, the horror vibe. I like that tone. Like he's not afraid of changing that tone up. This definitely is different than each of the previous films, but I can't wait to see Hercule solve this one for sure. I love these movies so much. Kenneth Branagh is so great. Yeah. He's just got that charisma on screen when he steps on like into the frame. It's kind of like you're locked in, and I like it. I know some people don't. I took my mother to see Murder on the Orient Express, and she was like, "No, I don't like this guy's iteration of it." But hey, it's not for everybody. But it's kind of like, it's Agatha Christie, right? So it's kind of like those stories have been around for a while. We've seen iterations of them on the BBC and stuff like that. So I'm still looking forward to it. I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Did you guys watch that second trailer for Haunting in Venice? A Haunting in Venice, September 15th. So we're still like 2 months away, pretty much, right? 2 months away from that one. That's fine. We'll be back in full force by then. So there you go. Why is this music still playing in the background, guys? We've been running for about 13 minutes. Okay. So let me know what you thought in comments, and we will talk about it. Guys, there are my other social media handles. As I said, we're a live news show here on Thursday today, and there are my other handles where you can find like shorts and stuff, little stories that you can find on TikTok and Instagram, because YouTube doesn't do that. Yeah, well, come join us for that. You get to see some adventures of me going before the movies and stuff like that. Looking forward to that. What else can you find here on the channel? Well, you can see movie reactions, full movie reactions for things like Bird Box and Bird Box Barcelona. We had lots of fun with that. We do live streams, guys, so come on, join us and watch these full movies with us, with your own copy there on Netflix, of course, but just put the box over my screen and you can watch it at the same time. We also did for Black Widow, and we're all the way through episode 5 of Secret Invasion on from the MCU. I'm enjoying the series a lot, so go enjoy that. My reviews for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is up. Same with Insidious The Red Door and Joyride. And what was that one called again? Oh yeah, Indiana Jones review is up there. You remember that one, right? Was like last week that came out? No, maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's a grim situation for the Indiana Jones series. Talking about a grim situation, let's get on to the main story of the day. And Aquaman 2. Aquaman 2 is slated to come out this year, guys, at the end of the year. But Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom reportedly drifts into murky waters with multiple reshoots and test screenings. Well, reshoots are fine. Like that just happens. You need an extra shot of him walking into the building, or you need an extra shot of him saying this one line to give a little bit more cohesion to it. Fine, that's fine. But test screenings are also very important in the fact that if they don't like it, they do change course, and sometimes it sticks out like a sore thumb. Oh, this was the original ending, but we're changing it now. Like it's like, why? Because I guess the test screenings, people didn't like it, so we changed it up, right? This happened throughout the history of film, so it's not a big deal. But when people hear this, the layman, the person that doesn't really understand movie news stuff, hears this, and it's like, oh, yes, we can spin this into murky waters for sure. So I enjoyed the first Aquaman movie. I haven't watched it since I seen it in the theater. It's not something that I wanted to go rush back and go see, but it made $1 billion, and the studio is hoping that Aquaman 2, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, will follow suit and also make $1 billion. But the current state of the DCU, Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2 are going to be the last 2 films of the Snyderverse, apparently. And it's kind of like after the monumental bomb that was The Flash, people are just not having it. They're not having it. So I would expect, a rough ride for December 20th, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And I don't know how much test screenings and reshoots can fix that, right? I would think that it's just, that's not in the cards for it. So expect a few news stories out there today for people spinning it in that direction. A Weaver says, hi guys, this film was doomed the day they announced the DC Gunverse. Yeah, exactly. As much as us movie fans are wanting to know like the information, to know the intelligence, right? What's going on with Aquaman? Is it going to be connected to the DCU that's going forward? No, we don't know. You're not telling us. So it's kind of like, oh, it's going to be a fresh reboot now. But for some reason, you're putting out scenes where it's like, well, in every verse, it's always Jason Momoa playing Aquaman, right? But as fans, we just don't have that confirmation. So the buzz for it is it's not there. Hamilton, orchestra seats, $49.99, August 20th. Huh. Fascinating. And that's what happens, right? People are talking about it, and then they just get so distracted about some ad on the side. It's kind of like, yeah, well, that happens. So, yeah. Multiple sources say this film's third round of reshoots and a number unheard of in most Hollywood circles. What, a third round of reshoots? No, I don't think so. As I said, they're always casually picking up things all the time. And it's not as if these reshoots, unless you're reshooting like a World War Z situation where you're reshooting pretty much the third act, the final half of the film. It's not like one of those situations, and it's not going to change the story too much. Like the setup is still going to be the same, right? The initial act of whatever this problem is going to be. This movie is still, the setup's still going to be the same. But I tell you this, what's going to be the fallout if it bombs? Well, not much, really, because we know that the DC is getting rebooted with Superman in 2025. They laid the groundwork to try to keep Momoa on as Aquaman, but if it doesn't do well, then of course they can just easily go in a different direction. I think most people will be understanding of that. I think most people will be kind of like, yeah, that's the right call. There's no use in beating a dead horse. The Snyderverse is done. Let's just put it out of the way and move on. But I would expect a lot of my other fellow pundits out there to use this as fodder for circling the bandwagons of outrage and say, we told you so. We told you even back in. It's like, guys, come on. Let's take a little bit of a measured response with this. I'm still hoping that it's a good movie. Some people will try to blame it on Amber Heard. It's like, guys, we're smarter than that, aren't we? We're smarter than that. If it fails, it's because it's a story. The story's not good. It's too long or something like that, right? It's not because of one. Amber Heard. It's not like the Ezra Miller situation. All right. E. Weaver says they're probably just trying to make an ambiguous ending to string us along. I hope not. I hope Aquaman 2, because it's got like Patrick Wilson and stuff. I hope that they, like what they were trying to do with The Flash, have it like a definitive ending for him. But we'll see. That's what I hope that these reshoots are. That they're kind of like, after The Flash, maybe we should just go back and put in this ending where it's kind of like, this is the ending for this version of Aquaman. So that's another possibility that could be happening. And I'd be totally fine with them doing that. Okay, where are we at? Ooh. OBS just said it disconnected. OBS said that it disconnected, but it says my stats here are everything okay. Yeah, all right. Let's keep it in the water here, guys. Let's keep it in the water. Let's go over to the Meg 2. Meg 2 comes out this August. Yeah. So you got a few releases between Gran Turismo and Meg 2 coming out this August. And Meg 2 is just going to be like one of those fun popcorn movies where it's like, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's audacious. It's a B movie that's out on the big screen. But if Statham fans unite, let's take a look at the Meg 2. We got some new posters today ahead of its August release. So let's take a look. Meg 2. Looks like we got some international posters. Okay. IMAX poster. Is that something that you guys would put up on your wall? No, I can't enlarge that. I really need to crop out the side of my crop here. I need to crop the crop. That one's kind of interesting. What is IOITY? That must be in this language. What is this one? Is this Japanese or is this Korean? I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm ignorant to the characters, what they mean. That one doesn't look all that great. That one looks like it's just they photoshopped their heads inside there. That one's a little lackluster. Dolby. A little throwback to the original Jaws poster, right? Of the shark coming up from underneath. You see the oil rig up here. Is that it? That one looks kind of cool, though. That one's kind of cool. I like that. It's dark. Him up on the Sea-Doo. Yeah, there is going to be like a sharktopus monster in this, isn't there? I think they call this the Kraken. There's going to be like a giant octopus or squid of some kind that fights with them. Hey, you know what it is. It's cheeky. Oh, I like that one. That one is good. Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. With the three of them. These specks are people. Interesting shot. Yeah, I dig that one. Only in cinemas August. Yeah. Oh, we got a few more here. Wow. They're really going overboard. Well, the thing about posters is that it's not like in the olden days where we have to decide so we can print it and send it out to everybody. No, we can design a whole bunch of these posters. And since we've commissioned someone to make all of these posters, just release them digitally. Why not? Hey, yeah, this is that opening sequence that we've seen of like the T-Rex getting eaten by a Meg on the beach. Right? Lifer in the live chat says, hey, how's it going? Oh, yeah, this is the one that I kind of like said, meh, that one doesn't do anything for me. All right. Meg 2 posters, guys. What do you think? When is this release date? August 4th. So it'll be the first movie that we see in August, right? August 4th. Meg 2. Looking forward to that. Just some good popcorn fun. Gran Turismo, though, is still my most anticipated of August, I think. Yeah. Bifer there, yeah. Says, hey, how's it going? Cool, man. Chris Schober was talking about Haunting in Venice. Yeah, we dug that. I like the Haunting in Venice trailer. Okay, so where are we at? We're just coming up on the 25-minute mark, so I'm going to close out these pages and we'll get into a bit of a strike update. What's going on here? Turmoil. Is that Friend Resher there? Jousting, as I call it. Showstopper. Strike plunges Hollywood into chaos with pricey movie delays, pay battles, and AI anxiety. Yeah, guys, they got to hammer out something where the studio's got to back off from saying that they've got the rights to your visage. To, like, if you film one scene, they got to back off that stance of saying, well, because we filmed you for that one scene, we can now use AI to digitally make you say anything in any other scene. It's like, no, no. And then you won't get paid for that because it's AI giving that performance. Like I like that just makes my skin crawl for business-wise. You're not treating your business partners well, but you're also kind of like, you're shooting yourself in the foot in the long run. It's technology that could be used in good ways, but mostly it'll be used for bad ways to squeeze out profits, and it'll give like no incentive for people to be like saying, yeah, I want to sign up, I want to be in your movie. But anyway, Gladiator 2, we're not alone that day. Deadpool 3, Beetlejuice 2 has stopped. So we're gonna, lots of productions getting stopped here. It's no surprise. We talked about Deadpool getting shut down. That's no surprise. And one of the few things that people are somewhat upset about is that I still think that Tom Cruise is going around promoting Mission Impossible, which he should not be doing. And people are like giving him the no, you shouldn't be doing that. It's that kind of thing. And then there's other productions that have been granted exemption status for things, and it's kind of like, wait a minute, how are you guys able to still continue making your project when you should be standing with us in this? Yeah, so there's some very contentious stuff going on out there that we're just going to be cognizant of. I don't want to get too much into the contract proposals. Union members call AMPTP counters insulting. That's the business side more of it, and it's a little bit more boring. But I'm keeping my eye on it for sure. As movie fans, we want to keep our eye on it just to make sure that they don't get the raw deal, right? Like, just don't underhand. Like, you're already making millions of dollars, as I said. What's the harm? Like, again, I don't understand this business, but it's kind of like there's got to be a line there where everybody comes out with something that they can be happy about, right? My eyes popped out of my head when I read these deal points last night. Unreal, said Wilson Cruz. Yeah, they actually hate us, said the actor. Well, the longer that the actors can hold out with the writers, it'll be better. But as we heard earlier in the week, the studios want to clamp down until people start losing their houses, start losing, the ability to support their families, and that's gross. That's grotesque. That's where I think the line should be drawn in the sand. It's like, meanwhile, the executives are going around in their yachts, living in their huge mansions, and you can't play the little guy the fair wage. You can't acquiesce a little bit. You can't give a little bit of saying that you won't use AI for these kinds of purposes. You can't do that. It's going to somehow stop you from living in that big mansions some people will live in. It's like, it's greed, right? And that's a little bit of the drawbacks to it. I'm aware of it. I don't want to get in on a tangent here and rant about the politics of it all, because that's what it is. It gets into the politics of it, and that turns people off. Obviously, I'm on the side of the writers and the actors. Okay. Yes, Chris Schober. Yeah, it's a bummer. Beetlejuice 2 is they shut it down, but that's just expected, right? Ron Perlman, Sons of Anarchy star, used some harsh language here. You wish that families that starve while you're making $27 million a year and creating nothing. Be careful, MF, or be careful, Perlman said. Well, Ron Perlman's a stand-up dude. I have the high respects for Ron Perlman. He's been in the business for a long time. And if you don't know who he is, he's the guy who played Hellboy the first couple of times. He's just been in a lot of stuff. He's got a long career, man. So when he's speaking about this stuff too, it's kind of like I listen to what he's got to say, man. And he's obviously very passionate about it. Very passionate. Yeah, Iger. You come back to try to save Disney, but now you're making all these quotes saying, well, yeah, it's not good PR. All right. Let's move on to Barbenheimer. Let's move on to what's opening up today, guys. Barbie opens up today. Oppenheimer opens today. Are you going to go out and check them out? I think a lot of people are. And it's going to be, well, I think it's Barbie is going to win the box office, but which got the better reviews? Well, we'll take a look at the tomato meter, and we'll take a look at the more box office projections tomorrow, guys. I'm seeing Barbie on Saturday, and I'm going to go see Oppenheimer on Sunday. So expect my reviews a little bit later, but I'll get them out there, guys. This will be my second last week where I won't be able to see it on Thursday, but starting in August, I'm going back to seeing them on Thursday nights, guys. So we'll be there. We'll be there. So Barbie lifted its embargo on Tuesday, and Wednesday was Oppenheimer. That's surprising for Oppenheimer that it waited so long for its embargo to drop. And when you hear that, you're kind of like, that's not good. That's not good. So we go over to the tomato meter for Oppenheimer. 92%, so it's certified fresh, 154 reviews, and we knew that. We saw the trailers for Oppenheimer. Bifer says in the live chat, I'm watching it on the 70mm screen. Good, man. I may go down to the pseudo IMAX theater here in town to watch it. Yeah, I am. I'm not going to... the real IMAX theater is like 100 kilometers away. I can't go to that one, but I am going to go down to the pseudo IMAX. Let's see, Sunday. Let's see what the... I think of that. Yeah, the pseudo IMAX experience at 10 a.m. Oh, I'm seeing it on 10 a.m. I'm seeing it 10 a.m. Sunday morning. Oppenheimer in the IMAX experience. So that'll be good, because then I can come home and I'll be able to do my Sunday afternoon stream of doing my reviews for Barbie and Oppenheimer. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect for me. Thank you. Yes, I'm going to see it in the pseudo IMAX. It's a big screen, but it's like they give you these glasses that sort of like reflect so that it sort of makes the screen look bigger. It's not really a true IMAX screen, like the big grandiose IMAX, like, you know, when it's like, holy my God, it's not like that. But I'll see it in the IMAX experience for sure. And then yeah, look, see, because Oppenheimer's 3 hours, look how many. It's only got like 8 shows at that theater, but Barbie has 10 because it's shorter, right? And because of that, Barbie is going to do much better at the box office. But I think Oppenheimer is going to get the more acclaim. It's going to have awards contention. I think people are going to come out of this saying that the acting is good, the hopefully the directing. Hopefully Nolan gets some directing nods for this. Okay, let's take a look at some of the snapshot reviews. I'll go into this a lot more, so this will just be quick, guys. Despite it being over long and unevenly paced, Oppenheimer contains moments of greatness and features one of the most compelling lead performances by Cillian Murphy in recent memory. Runtime is an issue here. 3 hours. And it's because of the subject matter, too. Nolan is... He's flirting here with Scorsese, Irishman, Killers of the Flower Moon, 3.5+ hour run times, where it's like, did it really need to be that long? Did it have to be that long? You could have cut out some of this stuff and made it shorter. That's the one danger of this movie, right? Is that because it's 3 hours, because of this story, yeah, we know he develops the bomb. Right? We know how this story ends too. He dies a tragic, not tragic, but a rather painful death of like lung cancer, right? And I think it's going to go into all of that. But the cast is great. Kenneth Branagh, Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt. Let's take a look at somebody who didn't like it. What can I say for sure is that Oppenheimer far too often feels like a 3-hour Wikipedia entry than a compelling movie. Well, there's that danger too, because it is a historical piece. It's kind of like, well, they did this and they did that, so we're going to show you that. It's not going to feel part of a narrative story. It's just going to feel like you sitting inside of a classroom going, well, that happened. Yes, it did. Next. Yeah. I'm watching him more for Cillian Murphy. I want to see what he can do in this, giving like Nolan's going all in with him, right? And I hear good things about Emily Blunt. So certified fresh, it's no big deal. So did it do better than Barbie? 92% on the tomato meter. Let's take a look. It did, 89%. But hey, Barbie's up there, 89%. That's a lot higher than I thought. I thought Barbie by the critics would be like around the 60s or 70s, typical for this type of fare of movie. But Margot Robbie, I think, is going to knock this out of the park. This is the kind of movie where I just want to sit down, laugh. I know I'm watching a silly movie, just like Meg 2. I know it's going to be ridiculous. I just want to laugh and have fun with these characters, because Margot Robbie she was like born to play Barbie, right? So Slate Reviews says, an earnest feminist manifesto inside a barbed social satire. Okay, that's just too much word salad for me. Inside an effervescent musical comedy. What? Oh my God, Jesus. Try to say that all in one. An earnest feminist manifesto inside a barbed social satire inside an effervescent musical comedy, all designed in colors and textures so that sumptuous they make 1950s Technicolor look desaturated. Ugh. My God. And I even fumbled the ball there, didn't I? I fumbled it around here, right? All designed in colors and textures so sumptuous. Sumptuous. And that's somebody who liked it. Let's see, somebody who didn't. Barbie herself never quite emerges as a self and blood character. That may be the movie's fatal flaw. Well, it's a doll. She's a doll. What are you talking about? She's not going to have like, I was born to do this and I have issues of like self. No, it's like, no. It's not supposed to be like that. And that's the thing that some people have, like, this is probably why that He-Man movie failed, because they're trying to inject too much character into it, right? It's like, no, it's simple. He's a good guy and there's a bad guy. Barbie's a doll that likes to wear all these different clothes and hangs out with Ken. There's not much more depth to it. I know that the outrage bandwagon will circle the wagons around that combination of words, feminist manifesto. I've already seen it out there. Some of the other pundits saying, it's feminism, and feminism is bad. It's terrible. It's like, guys, grow up. Being aware of social issues is not a bad thing. It's been in art since its inception, since people were doing cave drawings. It's not a new thing for this century. It's just gone on to a new medium, and making people aware of feminist issues is not a terrible thing. It's not. And if you don't like it, just don't pay attention to that part of the story. Anyway, a little bit of a rant there too, I suppose. I'm looking forward to both of these movies. I really am. So I'm really looking forward to the weekend. And if you guys go out and see Barbenheimer this weekend, let me know what you thought of the two films. Let me know which one you think is better, because we'll be doing that as well. Keeping on with Christopher Nolan, who did Oppenheimer here. He weighed in on Quentin Tarantino's retirement plan. I was curious. Two big titans, two big directors that I have huge respects for. Tarantino, like yesterday I did what my top 5 directors, what were they? They were Del Toro, Nolan, James Cameron, Denis Villeneuve. Tarantino could be the 5th one as well. I think I said Hayao Miyazaki, but Tarantino has also done some good stuff. Yeah, oddly enough, the two titans. Tarantino's in the top 10 for sure. And we knew that he had this plan that he was only going to do 10 films, and then he was going to retire. So I was curious, what did Nolan say about this? I'm really curious. So he said in a review for Variety, quote, Quentin's point has always been that, and he's never very graciously, he's never specific about the film he's talking about or whatever, but he's looking at some of the work done by filmmakers in the late years and feeling that if it can't live up to the heyday, it would be better if it didn't exist. Oh, because some people overstayed their welcome. But you know what? Scorsese and Spielberg, they're still going. Francis Ford Coppola is still going. And I think that it's a very purist point of view. It's the point of view of a cinephile who prizes film history. Okay, so he's being very diplomatic there. He's not saying that he agrees with it or doesn't. He's just trying to articulate it, right? Here's the point of view of a cinephile who prizes film history. And Tarantino is somebody who does. Tarantino is somebody who definitely, when you hear him talk about film, he knows his stuff, right? Nolan's aware of that. Nolan's also a sharp dude. He's aware of that. So Nolan did say Tarantino's plan compared to directors of the 70s. The truth is, I understand both points of view. It's addictive to tell stories in cinema. It's a lot of hard work, but it's very fun. It's something you feel driven to do, and so it's a little hard to imagine voluntarily stopping. Yeah, and I agree with that. I agree with Nolan on that, closing that quote. Filmmaking is in your blood. It's in Tarantino's blood. And it's like the songwriters that, the rappers that say, oh, this is my last album and then I'm retiring. No, it's in your blood, man. You're a songwriter until you die. He's a filmmaker until he dies. If a good story comes along, it's going to eat away at his brain until it's like, I got to make this movie. That's what's going to happen. And I wouldn't be worried about it tarnishing your career. You're still going to have Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Bastards. It's still going to be, that's all still in your resume, right? One bad movie doesn't taint it, unless you look at Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Then it could come. I'm just taking a shot at Spielberg there, guys. Forgive me. But yeah, no, even looking at Spielberg, it doesn't take away from the rest of your movies, man. It doesn't. And it's going to happen. Yes, the more things that you do, the more volume of stuff, the catalog of stuff. Not all my YouTube videos are hits. There's some of them that only make 2 views, and I look at them and they're like, eesh, what was I thinking? But then some of them are big. It's just that whole library is kind of like, you can't expect them all to be hits or resonate with fans. But it's the body of work that counts, and that's the way I look at it. And I think that's the way that I think that's the way that Nolan looks at it too. It's the body of work that counts. It's some of them aren't going to hit. Like Tenet was not very well received by a lot of people. I like Tenet in the theater, but it's probably my least favorite Nolan film, Tenet. But it doesn't take away from the masterpieces that are Inceptions and Batman Begins and Dark Knight, Prestige. It doesn't take away from those at all, right? That's why Nolan's still in my top 5 directors right now, for sure. James Gunn had Leonardo DiCaprio Spider-Man as his version in Spider-Man No Way Home. Did he, Chris? I don't know about that. A. Weaver says a lot of people don't get satire. Yeah, and some people are really, yeah, they'll never get it. Tarantino will never truly retire. I agree. I think he just had kids, so he's got other priorities now, but he can't give it up. Yeah. And it's just one of those things. I'm a guitar player. I play guitar. Even until I'm like 80 and I'm like this, my fingers can barely do it. I'll still have that desire to pick this up and play it. And Tarantino will still, like, if a story idea comes along, he'll still have that idea to sit down at the keyboard and type that narrative out, that story. It'll eat away at him. Anyway, moving on. Talking about Nolan and one of his favorite composers, let's talk about Hans Zimmer. And apparently he scored The Creator, directed by Gareth Edwards, right? So I'm looking forward to this one as well. This one, it's got the score from Hans Zimmer. I know that some people are a little bit mixed on Zimmer. It's weird, right? He's done so many great soundtracks, and he talk about having a storied career. Hans Zimmer. Yeah, I think he always delivers. And if you've seen the trailers for The Creator, where there's like the Chappie-style robots that are like AI taking over, it's very sci-fi. I was a little bit worried that maybe it could be a little too sci-fi for some people, but yeah, because it's got like the aliens, or not aliens, it's got like the robots that are probably fighting for their own rights to survive and stuff like that. I think it looks great. Knowing that the soundtrack's going to be done by Hans Zimmer just adds to the film. And again, you know what's cool about this is that this is one of those movies where that's a little too phallic for my tastes right there. But this is one of those movies that this budget was not grotesque. This budget was under 100 million. And you got visual effects in here that make it look like grandiose in scope. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. The Creator, September 29th. Okay, that's not August, September 29th. But knowing that Hans Zimmer is going to be behind this, That's cool, man. Creator synopsis. Amidst a future war between human race and forces of artificial intelligence, a hardened special forces agent grieving the disappearance of his wife is recruited to hunt down and kill the creator. Probably the creator of the AI. Yeah. I think everything about this looks like it's going to be right up my alley. I dig this stuff, man. I dig this stuff. Um, and I'm glad that the budget's lower because it's going to be a little too niche for some people. From the director of Rogue One, yeah, and it's good to see that Gareth Edwards is out with another film because you heard the drama behind the scenes with Rogue One. It was somewhat taken away from him at the end. Yeah, talking about reshoots, Rogue One had extensive reshoots and altered the ending. Now, some of the same events happened. Like, yeah, they went to the Scarif to get the plans out of for the Death Star. It's just how things went down was changed and altered, right? They even fooled around with letting her survive in the end. It was like, no, um, things got changed around. Um, that's where reshoots happen, right? And it was for the better because I still think Rogue One is probably the best Disney movie, a Star Wars Disney movie that they put out. But the creator, Gareth Edwards, Hans Zimmer, coming together to work on this sci-fi project. Late September, guys. I think it looks good. I think it looks good. My least favorite Nolan film, Bifer says, is Dunkirk. I like Dunkirk, though. I like the different stories of, like, the pilot with Tom Hardy, and then, of course, the Cillian Murphy story of him getting, like, shell shock, or PTSD, I guess they called it, right? I like the different angles of it. For the captain, Mark Rylance going over to try to save some of the troops and stuff. Yeah, I like Dunkirk, but it's not for everybody, I suppose. A Weaver says, if anything, I think Tarantino's kids will inspire him to create more. Ultimately, yeah, me too. Maybe we'll get Tarantino's kids in the film. Maybe. We're coming down to the end of the show here, guys. John Boyega talks about Star Wars. He says that he's open to returning to Star Wars after the sequel trilogy had wrapped. He had come out and said a rather couple of scathing things about it, about being like they didn't use his character the way that he wanted it to, and he got shoved to the background. His character basically got reduced to yelling out "Ray!" It's like, yeah, I could see why that he wasn't taken in with that, but I guess he's open to going back. You know what? He was really good. I thought he was good in The Woman King. We did watch along here on the channel for Woman King, right? Um, but he hasn't really been in a whole lot of other stuff. Or was he in Detroit? He's trying to work on a script for Attack the Block 2, but he hasn't been in a whole lot of other stuff. Hollywood and the fame ride, it's one of those things where if you stall for too long and people aren't keeping you in the word of mouth, then you just won't be offered the work. He's got the talent for sure, but and then, for some god awful reason that I can't comprehend, Kathleen Kennedy has come out and said that she doesn't understand why Finn would be in Rey's new Jedi Order. She doesn't get it. I don't understand that. Of course he would, because he's force sensitive. Why wouldn't he be? And Kathleen Kennedy coming out and trying to champion diversity and stuff, right there in front of your eyes, Kathleen Kennedy. Anyway, that's a tired old rant. Let's see what he said here. That was a few years ago, so they were a subject of a particular project. Boyega recently told Tech Radar, but I'm open to all characters and scripts that are enjoyable, have a great cast attached to a terrific director. So yeah, I'm open to all opportunities. Well, most actors are, right? I would like to see him in the Rey project. Have him, okay, if he's not going to be a disciple or a student, he would still be friends with Rey. He still would be friends with her. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how that boils down to what happens in that. But John Boyega was good in Breaking 2022. Okay. His new movie, The Clone Tyrone, drops tomorrow on Netflix. Oh yeah, The Clone Tyrone, that's coming on. Is that on Netflix? That's with Jamie Foxx, right? We're not scheduled to do a watch along for that. Let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, yeah, The Clone Tyrone, Jamie Foxx and Tiona Paris. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I can't show you too much of the controller there, because it's showing the video at the top. Coming this Friday. I don't know if I'm going to have time to watch that one. Maybe we can try to schedule it in for next week. Maybe on a Tuesday or because it's just so busy. I'm busy. And my last week tomorrow, next week will be my last week of having this heavy schedule. Then I'm taking a break, and then we'll come back. It's all up in the air. We'll see. All right, let's go on to some hit or miss, and we'll wrap things out. Twisted Metal series is going to be out on Peacock, right? But apparently it's going to be on Paramount Plus in Canada. So is this an incentive to try Paramount Plus out, James? No, it's not strong enough for me to join Paramount Plus. There's just too many. I'm like this close, like literally this close to signing up to Apple TV Plus so we can watch Fountain and we can watch Silo. And somebody else recommended that we should watch that Tom Holland series that's out on Apple right now as well. Yesterday, right? But it's going to be out on Peacock. Twisted Metal, the trailers, it didn't win me over. And it sucks because I was a fan of the Twisted Metal video games. But that was just like a smash-up derby type game. They've infused characters into this. I don't have anything against Anthony Mackie. It's just, it doesn't have me running out to see it. Maybe if it comes out on Blu-ray or something, I'll buy it. Next, Perpetrator trailer. Alicia Silverstone horror film reaches theaters and Shudder in September. Perpetrator, huh? Shudder original. Hey, maybe then Shudder is something else that I would be considering signing up for because, I'm a horror fan. Alicia Silverstone making waves again in the film industry. I got no problem with that. She can still do it, man. I think she's still great. So what do these girls get trapped and in this house that she's like kidnapping them or something? Very interesting. And what? Ooh, one of them filed down their teeth to become weapons or something to get out of there? Huh. Perpetrator. Yeah. A meeting between David Lynch and John Hughes. That's a weird combination. But yeah, it's mostly young people that get kidnapped. Very interesting. Filmed by Jennifer Reeder. Perpetrator follows Johnny Baptiste is a reckless teen sent to live with her estranged Aunt Hildy. On her 18th birthday, she experiences a radical metamorphosis, a spell that defines her called forevering. When several teenage girls go missing at her new school, a mythically feral Johnny goes after the perpetrator. Oh, okay. So what? She turns into a weird beast? Is that why we saw the teeth like that? That's fascinating. Huh. And Silverstone plays her Aunt Hildy, so she's going to be one that alters into a beast form as well. I like that story, man. That sounds very interesting, and it's going to be in theaters in September. Maybe I can take it in a small feature. That's a hit, for me at least. Next, The Curse of La Llorona is not part of the Conjuring universe. Peter Safran confirms that The Curse of La Llorona is not part of the Conjuring universe. Well, that's the way that they marketed that movie, man. And I gotta tell you that the one scare in the bathroom, that got me. That made me go, ooh. Right? The rest of the movie was a little bit hokey. I thought it was kind of cool that it was slightly connected to the Conjuring universe, but I guess it's not. Thank you for the clarification. I don't think many people care unless you're a horror movie fan. So what did he say here in an interview with Entertainment Weekly? There's so much debate about it, and I think I've played coy in the past, Chavez said. Michael Chavez, the director of the movie. The idea was that Annabelle cameo was going to be this little hidden thing that you were going to discover as you watch the movie. One of the reasons that it could be formally part of the Conjuring universe is that it didn't include one of the key producers, which is Peter Safran. The Conjuring is his baby, him and James, and they are still the two core producers on it. So what, you used it without it? I don't know. The Nun 2 is part of the Conjuring universe for sure, and that comes out soon, right? We'll be watching that. Nun 2, September 8th. So just a little bit of clarification about La Llorona. Not that it's a big deal or anything. Yeah. Meh. Yeah, that's all I got in the can for today, guys. We had fun scrolling through the old Reddit verse yesterday, right? Nolan's Oppenheimer review thread. New poster for Haunting in Venice. Yeah, we got that. Anyone remember Cillian Murphy had a cameo in Tron Legacy? I do. He was one of the board members. And I thought he was going to be the big setup guy for the third film. That's what they were thinking. Wish he was coming back for the next one. I do too, man. I do too. But it seems like that role is going to get handed off to Jared Leto. What can you do? IMAX still runs on Palm Pilot operating system. What? What movie did Hollywood learn the exact wrong lesson from? What? That's a weird question. What movie did Hollywood learn the exact wrong lesson from? Oh, I'll tell you this. You know who's that? J.J. Abrams. Wrong lesson. I can wow you with a bunch of flashy camera movements and lens flares, and people will be fooled into thinking that they're watching some compelling stuff. Who cares about the story? It doesn't have to make sense. That's the wrong lesson. That's the wrong lesson right up there. Story always comes first. I don't care about the flashy movements and the camera movements and how sleek it looks. That's my case. For a long time, my answer has been The Silence of the Lambs. What? That's outrageous. You almost disqualify yourself right there. Starling is just highly... Yeah, what the heck are you talking about? Every universe is trying to create their own cohesive cinematic universe. Yeah, that's a problem there too. Like the Dark Universe that got canceled. Because they didn't write all the movies, man. You know, at least Feige had a roadmap with comic books to make the MCU happen, right? Yeah, that was the wrong lesson that most people took. They didn't understand that he had that roadmap. So it's like, well, it's Star Wars. We'll just make episode 8. Oh, we didn't plan out what episode 8 and 9 should do. We'll just let each director make their own. It's like, no. Even Lucas had a plan for episode 1, 2, and 3. He knew exactly where it was going to go. So he had the ability to plant all these seeds in that would pay off in the later films. As much as I don't think that Abrams is a good director, at least he laid the seeds and groundwork for things that should have paid off in the other films. But then Rian Johnson came in and said, no, none of those seeds matter. I'm taking it in a different direction. It's like, well, yeah, that's a case for that right there. That's what I would say. Netflix price shakeup removes ad-free plan. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. How does everyone feel about Hook? Hook? I thought it was charming. A little too hokey. I just want my mommy. Yeah, that stuff was a little too much for me. That was a little too Spielberg-esque. Toys. LL Cool J was in that one, right? A cerebral. It's been so long since I've seen that one, but I do like. I mean, uh, I did like the premise of it. Official poster for Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose Simon Pegg. And Simon Pegg is also somebody else. He can do serious work too, man. And he was actually really, really good in Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 2 or Part 1. Because when he opened up that bomb and it was like, it says my name. I was like, I in the theater, I was like, no, like, because you were like thinking that they were going to kill one of the main characters, and it's like, I don't want him to go. It's going to have Minnie Driver and Christopher Lloyd in it. Cool. Always a bonus to see Christopher Lloyd. First in-depth look at Warner Bros. The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, released April 12th, 2024. First in-depth look. Yeah, got any other photos? That's pre-visual work that we've seen before. Yeah. Looking forward to that one. I'll keep my eye out for that. Favorite movie that shows brilliant planning of something big? Oh, well, that's easy. Heat. All those heists. Heat. Heat's like a masterpiece. Artglass says most of Robin Williams' movies had tragedy woven through it. Yeah. Robin Williams. Taken way too young, man. But he had his issues. Depression. Even when you think you got a handle on it, it's one of those things that just sneaks back in, right? Yeah, that he's one of the deaths that that I get upset about still when I think about it. He's one. Who's another one? Heath Ledger's one that I get. I'm like, damn, dude, damn, too young. And who's the other one that gets me upset? That gets me upset. Anton Yelchin. Yeah. Anton Yelchin gets me, that one gets me a little upset too. That one's, because it's not a substance abuse problem or depression problem. That's just tragedy. That sucks, because you know that the way that he went out, getting like from a malfunctioning of a gate, that the terror in his, he must have felt like, oh shit, and then like God, like that's too young, and he had the ability to go really far. And Odd Thomas, we watched that. Thank you for suggesting that too. Anyway, we kind of digressed on a bummer note here. Just finished Babylon and enjoyed it. Well, then, good for you. I absolutely hated Babylon. Let's finish out the Twitterverse here, and we're running a little bit of overtime today, but that's fine. That's fine. E. Weaver says Peg shows dramatic chops in The World's End. Yeah, I like the setup for World's End. It's got, I don't know. Out of that trilogy, the Cornetto trilogy, that's my favorite one. Anton Yelchin's was so frustratingly tragic. The bright lights shine the shortest. Yeah. And he was like a stand-up dude from everything that you hear too, right? All right. New poster for Red, White, and Royal Blue. Christopher Nolan on potentially directing a James Bond film. That's what I want to see. Quote, the influence of those movies in my filmography is embarrassingly apparent. It would be amazing privilege just to do one. Yeah. Now that would be like, I think lots of people would be wanting to see that. Yeah, oh God. I hope so. Barbara Broccoli, get a hold of Nolan. Give him the next Bond film. And let him cast the next Bond. Because he would have somebody in the back of his mind. All right. Margot Robbie for Vogue. Well, that's kind of racy. Give that the old heart. Let's get rid of this banner, James. Margot Robbie. Greta Gerwig. I was like, oh, she's the queen of indie scene, and I'm just like Colgate toothpaste model. She's going to be bored talking to me, but I really do take film seriously, and I hope that comes across. Margot Robbie, I'm meeting Greta Gerwig. Colgate. No, you're Harley Quinn. What are you talking about? Give that the old heart. Emma Mackey for French dubbing. Does her own dubbing for French version of Barbie. Well, that's cool. It's always cool when the original actors do their own dubbing. Danny DeVito did his own dubbing for a lot of the Lorax movie in the different languages. Because they just couldn't find somebody else to do the voice, right? I have high respects for that, too. Barbenheimer, now certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, we talked about that. Christopher Nolan's filmography. Yeah, like, what's the worst one here? Tenet. Tenet's got the worst, right? I haven't seen The Following. That's one that I have not seen. I think that's the only one I haven't seen. Yeah, that's the only one that I haven't seen. My favorite, though, is Inception. Yeah, I have. Where is it? I have the big one for Inception. I have the copy that comes with the script. I got the script for Inception, shooting script. So that's cool. That's how much I love Inception. Soundtrack, Hans Zimmer. Perfect pairing right there, right? Awesome. That's my favorite. What's your favorite Nolan film, guys? Let me know in the comments. It's hard to not say Dark Knight. A lot of people really like Interstellar. Interstellar's be breathtaking, right? And I got high hopes for Oppenheimer. So we'll see how that wraps up. Okay. This will bring us full circle here. Reshoots for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom reportedly took place in New Zealand in mid-June and involved Momoa and Patrick Wilson, according to THR. This is the third round of reshoots for the movie. So, there they didn't spin it in a negative way. But it did involve Momoa and Patrick Wilson, which, again, maybe that goes back to my theory that they were just tweaking the end to make sure that it was a definitive end for this version of the character. And I think that's all that they did. First, a trailer for Dear David is out. Yeah, first horror movie for Dear David. I don't even know what that is. It looks like it's another missing person caper where somebody goes missing and he's only got his computer to figure out the mystery. Is that what it is? Nina Dobrev says it's too soon to reboot the Vampire Diaries. They didn't even end that long ago. America Ferrera for Vogue. Happy birthday to Amita Suman. Do I know who Amita Suman is? I don't. My bad. New posters for Only Murders in the Building. Oh, where's the Selena Gomez one? Martin Short. Hey, what? You don't have one with Selena Gomez? Where's the one with Meryl Streep? You got Paul Rudd. Huh. Oh, there it is. There she is. There's Selena. There's Meryl Streep. I watched the first episode of it. I don't got the time to watch all of this stuff. Oh, and for some reason, it's not letting me close that picture. All right. Well, I guess that's it for today, guys. Don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow for more movie news and stuff. So that's it. A. Weaver says Inception and Prestige are my faves. Yeah, I got Prestige as well, also on Blu-ray. The more times that I watch The Prestige, you realize that, this is a really dark movie. And neither of the guys are good guys. It's kind of made out that Christian Bale's supposed to be the good guy at the end. But you got to remember, he killed his wife. It's like, no, they're both bad dudes. It would have been more poetic if the Prestige ended by them killing each other, right? Well, I guess they sort of did, but like definitively killing both each other. Like if he shot him and the fire started up in his warehouse there where he had all of his clones, and the fire just got out of hand too quickly, and Borden also died in, like, that would have been a little bit more poetic in my book, but whatever. And it's still a great movie, right? Good acting, like the acting in Prestige is top. David Bowie, come on, Andy Serkis, Scarlett Johansson, Rebecca Hall, yeah. Argyle says, I'm thinking Oppenheimer will take top spot for me. At the moment, my favorite, I would go Inception, yeah. Inception, Tom Hardy, Leonardo DiCaprio, great cast. Cillian Murphy, I mean, it's just awesome. Christopher says, the Chucky season 3 is now on strike. Also, James, and I just hope that we don't have to wait for a whole year for Chucky season 3. That would be a bummer. Chucky is a series that I want to get into as well. Man, I don't got time for all this. We'll see. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Join us tomorrow for more movie news. And if you go out and see Barbie or Oppenheimer, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. And I'll see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day. You're watching Mirror Domains. Thank you for joining me, Art Glass, Vikings, A. Weaver, Chris Schober, and Pfeiffer.